Yo, what's going on? I'm back with another volume of Welcome to the Franchise, Volume 31, Episode 31. Just here to tap in a little bit more about the NBA. Want to just give a few of my takes here and tap into that before the NBA All-Star break takes place. Still got a few games left. And a couple little things that I've noticed with the standings and noticed with some of the games and the plays and some of the stories out there right now. So let me get straight into it to start it off. I think with the trade deadline weeks, these past couple of weeks and everything like that, and then before the Super Bowl, I just finished with no important football. Kind of refreshed the energy and the interest in the league now. So it's good to see. It's fun to see some of these games, especially some of these trades and how it looks like they're turning out a little bit early. I know Luke only played one game. From what the numbers look like and what I heard, it seemed like he was a little rusty. But it looks like it's gonna work with him and LeBron. Of course, it is. Jimmy Butler. From what I'm seeing, I ain't catch no highlights yet, but I'm gonna try and tap into that. Jimmy Butler looks good with the Warriors. All the other players looking good with their team. Shoot, De'Aaron Fox, of course, looking good with his team already. Not already, but still, hitting his averages. Scoring about like 20 points a game with Wemby there. And all the other teams still just staying on their grind to get a better seeding or stay where they're at. Some teams are slipping a bit. The Rockets kind of on a 5-game skid, taking some losses here. Other teams waking themselves up for the competition that they know is real, like the Celtics versus the Knicks. And you got these motherfuckers still dropping 40 pieces, giving everybody out there 40 pieces, consistently right now in a nice little run. And, Shy Glizzy and Ant-Man. Ant-Man dropping another 40 piece on them out there. So you love to see it. And I caught a couple games myself in the past couple weeks, and it's been fun to see. It's been fun to watch how some of these teams play. And I may be a little bit mistaken for some of my takes earlier in the year, but not everybody does. Not everybody plays the same, and not everybody's just chucking up a bunch of threes. But I think those are the games that I like to watch and gravitate towards more when I see those teams play. Besides that, before the Jimmy Butler trade, I watched the Warriors game. I think it was the Warriors and the Suns, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like it. It was kind of boring to watch and kind of sickening to watch because the Warriors didn't really have anyone else outside of Steph that wanted to do shit, and they were all just running back and crowding around the 3-point line to put up a shot. Like, what the fuck is a Quentin Post doing coming back with the ball, big man, getting a rebound and putting up a three to miss? I don't want to see that shit. Nobody knew how to cut. Nobody was doing nothing. And not the Rockets, the Phoenix Suns are just, to me, they've been unwatchable for the past couple years. It's just, I don't know what the fuck they think they doing. But yeah, let me just get into that now. I'm just gonna, piggybacking off of that, just talk a little bit about the best new pairings with these trades, or the best new link ups, not just pairings with two guys, but link ups and the fits with the teams, and kind of rank them here. I'm gonna say for right now, what I like that I've seen in a couple of games and highlights that I've seen. Number one is gonna be Fox and Wemby. De'Aaron Fox, I seen the game against Atlanta. I seen the highlights against the Wizards and some other games. But De'Aaron Fox, he ain't stopping no motion. He ain't missing a step. Nigga still coming out there dropping 20 pieces. Still got Wemby doing his thing, and all the other players around them, the Vassell's, Castles, Keldon Johnsons, still doing their thing and contributing and putting up numbers. So to me, that's the number one. That's the number one pairing right now. After all these trades, them motherfuckers both been doing numbers together, and it's gonna be sneaky to watch out for them because they might fuck around and be in the play-in, and who knows who they play in the first round. But they'll probably get bumped in the first round, but it ain't gonna be easy. I'm pretty sure they'll make it fucking interesting. Whoever they got to play in the first round of the playoffs, I could see them getting at least 2 games, possibly out of a playoff series, even if they get bumped in the first round. The second one, I know a lot of people probably wouldn't pay attention to this, especially with where their seeding is at right now, also, or wouldn't think this. But from what I've been seeing in the stats, you know, what it's looking like, Levine, linking up with DeRozan and Sabonis in Sacramento. I think that's a sneaky nice one, and then they got Valanciunas in the mix also. But from what I've been seeing in the stat sheet and seeing the final scores and everything like that, yo, it looks pretty good. DeRozan is still doing his numbers. Levine still doing his numbers. Hitting at least 20 points also. Sabonis still doing his numbers with assists, rebounds, and scoring. So I think that's number 2 in a sneaky way right there. Number 3, Kuzma with Dame and the Greek Freak. I mean, shit, the Bucks I think are on like what, 3rd or 4th place now, some shit like that. That's kind of crazy. And I'm not saying that, Kuzma's like immediate impact that made him get there. They were getting there and climbing up there at that spot before the trade. But I haven't seen any of their games or anything like that or highlights yet. But I think that might be the 3rd best, little link up and pairing there with those 3 players there where they can make some noise in the playoffs. It might fuck around and beat them against the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, if it's not the Heat. Because I honestly don't see it being the Knicks, especially with the way that they've been playing against the Celtics. But the Knicks are still a really good team. I think they're the 3 seed after the Celtics. But I don't see them beating whoever they got to beat in the second round, whether that be the Pacers again or be the Bucks. If they got to face any of them again in the second round, they might lose to the Bucks just because of matchups and the experience and how they could stop the Knicks players defensively. And the Pacers, I only say because I just feel like the Knicks let a team like the Pacers get in their fucking head. They should have beat them last year even without Cat, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can see the Pacers getting in their head again. But shit, prove me wrong. Fuck it, get to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics maybe if it lines up that way. But it's too early to even tell that. The 4th one I would say, and maybe you can interchange this with the 3rd or 2nd here, depending on who you are, whatever you think. This is just me, but Jimmy and Steph, it looks like and it sounds like it's gonna be good, and they're gonna probably play their way to a 7th seed, maybe an 8th seed, and get in the playoffs. They definitely have a chance now to be in the play-in. But it looks like they could play themselves to a 7th seed. They still got all their other guys left, role players that contribute and produce, and they still got Draymond when he actually wants to fucking play and not be an ass wipe and get ejected from games and shit, and produce some actual numbers instead of being triple single. But you still got Looney, still got GP2. Who else is there? You still got Buddy Hield. Now you got Jimmy involved also. Shit, you can play your way into a 7th seed. You'll make it difficult on whoever you play in the first round. Still like 2 wins or maybe take it to 7 games. We'll see. Maybe Jimmy, if he stays healthy and everything like that, and he brings his mindset and ups it some more in the playoffs with Steph. Like, yo, I know you ain't played with me before, but let me show you what I've been doing. I've been with all these other teams in the East and shit, right? And maybe he forces a team that's better than them in the first round to 7 games and takes them over the hump to the second round. But that might be it. Let me not get too crazy. But that looks like a good link up right now, good pairing between them. Now, following that, how the seedings line up right now before the All-Star break. Not really going to get into where everyone's at. I'm just going to talk about from what I've seen, what I was able to catch from the top seeds or the teams that'll be there in that top 5 on both coasts. Man, Celtics is still the top dog. I know that the Cavs are number 1, but Celtics is still the top dog, man. Nobody's stopping them in the fucking East. I seen them play against the Cavs straight up. The Cavs were giving them work in the first half, giving them work through the 3rd quarter a bit. But they decided they came back, they battled back with them, and then they just showed them who the fuck the top dog is, and they won that shit. And you still got people talk about, I can still see the Cavs coming out of the finals. I get it. The Hunter trade and everything with him coming off the bench, good 6-man, good key factor, can help him get over the hump because he plays defense also and he can score. But nah, man, even before the trade and after the trade, I still think the Celtics, nah, man, nobody's fucking with them. The Cavs, really, really good team. They're dominant defensively and offensively. but I can't see them getting over the hump against the fucking Celtics right now. Celtics beat them in that game straight up, and then the Celtics just dismantled the fucking Knicks the other night. Had motherfuckers falling on the floor and getting up and just hitting a three on their head top and dunking on motherfuckers on the first play and all type of shit. Like, nah, man, that ain't that ain't gonna run if you the Knicks to try and get over that hump and beat the Celtics. It ain't gonna run. Cat out there was looking a little frail out there, like 9 points. He was letting niggas punk him a little bit, it seemed like, when he was on offense and on defense, with the switches and getting the matchups that Tatum wanted, just, hitting them with odd jammies from three and hitting them with the 2-point, with the mid-range shit against either Brunson or Cat, or whoever else was a weaker link on the defense outside of Mikal Bridges, who was trying to D him up. But yeah, Cat, he ain't it right now for me. I mean, no, don't get me wrong, he's having a great year, putting up big numbers, hitting the three, scoring, whatever, playing good off of Brunson. But I'm talking about that level of intensity and competition when it gets to the playoffs, when you got to play teams like the Celtics and you got to play teams like the Milwaukee Bucks. You know what I mean? Like, he just ain't it. He hasn't showed that to me yet. And this is why I was a little bit like, I kind of, doubted the trade with the Wolves and the Knicks, because even when he was on the Wolves, you know what I mean? Like, there were times I'm just like, where's the metal at? Where's the toughness at? Like, yeah, we know you can score. We know you're going to hit your 3-point shots. But where is the rest on defense and when these motherfuckers is D'ing you up and you trying to get to the lane? Nobody want to see that flopping shit, nigga. When you take it to the lane, when you take it to the basket and all that shit, all that flopping and traveling, can't get your footwork right, like, no, you a big man. You got to get this shit down now. You a vet in the league, too. It's good that you got the 3-point added to your game. But when it comes to the playoffs, that's not how they're going to defend you. And you can't always live and die with the three. You know what I mean? So, Cat right now, as far as, it's nice. He's a great player. Good player in the regular season, scoring 3-point shot. But in the playoffs, I don't know. I'm really doubtful about that. But, hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Let's see. Because that performance against the Celtics, that's what every team is going to give you, especially if you got to see them in the, second round of Eastern Conference Finals, if it even gets to that. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're going to D you up all fucking series. Every fucking game. So it ain't looking good right now. Like I said, Cavs do look serious, but, the Celtics is the top dog, but shit, they got proved me wrong too, I guess, you know what I mean? It'd be cool to see somebody knock off the Celtics. And I have to apologize to Mitchell and Garland. Seeing them play the other night and seeing some more of the highlights. They're all-star worthy. They are all-star worthy. And, Mitchell is, really going hard and going crazy, still going crazy and everything like that. And they got the big men, too, that's going to contribute in Mobley and Allen. They still going crazy. I mean, especially Allen. I like his game in the paint there and crashing the boards and dunking on motherfuckers. But I had to apologize. And they proved me wrong there. They're all-star worthy. They have some must-see plays, especially Mitchell, more Mitchell than Garland. They got some must-see plays. I'm like, oh, shit, let me shut the fuck up. They proved me wrong there, but let's see if you can get over the hump. I would love to see somebody knock off Boston. I would love that shit, but I just don't see it right now. But y'all are still serious. The other guys, the rest of them, Pacers, Bucks, Pistons, they coming up. They coming up too. The Pistons came up, because I think the last time I looked at where they were like number 8 or 7 or some shit like that. Now they're number 5. And the Pacers, I think, are all those teams, the Bucks, Pacers, they're all between the 4 and 6 seed now. So they're coming up, and I think out of all those teams there, though, the one who stands the best chance to really challenge the Celtics is the Bucks. Out of those teams between those seedings, the Cavs obviously could challenge the Celtics, but out of those teams, the Pacers, Bucks, and Pistons, it's mostly gonna be the Bucks that could challenge the Celtics the most. But like I said, I still see the Celtics being the ones coming out of the East right there. Tatum is going crazy still. Jaylen Brown, we know what he's going to do. And all the rest of the role players are still hitting their numbers and producing on the floor. Derek White's and Peyton Pritchard's and Al Horford still in there doing his thing. They're all doing all the shit that they're supposed to do. So I still see the Celtics coming out the East. In the West, OKC is still the top dog, along with maybe the Nuggets. But I say this, Lakers is number 2 also. So if it's the Nuggets that's number 2, I put Nuggets 2A just because they got the best player, the top 3 player in the league, and Jokic still, and their bench is still good. It's still really good, and when Westbrook comes back healthy, it's gonna be crazier. When they're starting lineup and everything. And then you got to put the Lakers 2A, who I think also had the best chance of coming out of the West and knocking off the top dog in OKC. But OKC, they're still hitting on all cylinders, doing their thing. They're getting Chet back now, too. Excuse me. They're getting Chet back now, too. They got some depth in the front court with Daniel Tice. Okay. I'm not saying it's a big whoa move, but you got depth and height there, which you'll need that in the playoffs for defense. But you still got Hardenstein, but Chet is coming back. He'll catch his wind after the break a little bit, get back in motion, and hopefully he's back in motion to start scoring in bunches as well with J-Dub and with Shai Glizzy and the rest of the role players there, and Wiggins and Isaiah Joe and Dort, and then hopefully you get Caruso back soon, healthy. And they're gonna be a force in the playoffs. They're gonna be a force in the playoffs this year. And they're the top dog. I see them making it to the Western Conference this year. So, and I would love to see that also. But I think, like I was saying before, was I the one that was crazy? That it sound crazy that the Lakers are gonna be the team to come out of the West and go to the finals now? I get it. The whole rescinded trade with Mark Williams at center, and they need a big man in defense. But let's be real, not a lot of teams play with multiple or with big men like that anymore to be a factor in the offensive game. So, and we've seen more recently more teams win with small ball type of schemes and philosophy, or just big guards playing the 3 and the 4. We've seen them win championships or win more and more recently here. So what does that really mean? Because the Lakers do have a bunch of 6'9" guys that could play defense and could score. They may not be the best defenders, but they could all score. They'll hit their roll shots when they need to, meaning their threes here and there, or get their N1s here and there, or the mid-range here and there when they have an open look, or and they'll play a little bit of D and get fights, especially if you see LeBron going hard. It's going to inspire the rest of the teammates to get better. You got a GOAT on there, too. You got 2 GOATs on there now. And this shit about, Nico Harrison making the trade, talk about defense wins championships. In basketball, no, the fuck they don't. Scoring wins championships. You got to score more points than the other fucking team. Defense, yes, you need. It's important. It is definitely important. But this ain't the days of the Pistons with Chauncey and them, and the Spurs with Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and them. Like, defense is not win championships. Yes, defense is important, it's a factor, but a lot of motherfuckers in this league, as we can see, got way better offense than fucking defense. And the Lakers, I think, are a team that have 4 players that can shoot your fucking lights out or score. Just keep scoring in bunches and shit. So I don't think it's crazy to see the Lakers coming out of the West against an OKC team where they have the edge on them because of experience. And they just got that GOAT. If LeBron has to, he'll get in the way of Shai Glizzy and play defense on him or do something like that to neutralize their offense. Because they know that Shai Glizzy is the straw that stirs the cup. He's the tip of the spear. So if you neutralize him or make it difficult for him, it may, I'm not saying it definitively will, but it may break down the offense a bit. So I can see that happening. And then with the Nuggets still have a chance to get back there to the Western Conference Finals. I just think that whoever they play in the second round could beat them. And if, let's say, they play the Lakers in the second round, that'd be interesting and fun to see. And I give a bit of the edge to the Lakers. But, I could see the Nuggets also in the Western Conference with OKC, and that would be fun to watch and see them back. And they have the edge with experience, and they've done it before. But I just think that OKC could have an edge where they just have more. They got more more supporting cast players that could come up big throughout a series to edge them out and come out on top. But I don't think it's crazy to see the Lakers going to the finals. I just don't. At first, how everyone was talking is like, nah, that's crazy. It's going to be Dallas or it's going to be OKC. Not the Lakers next year. No, right now. You see how LeBron playing right now? And Luka coming back? Crazy. Crazy. So I could see them coming out of the West. But the other dudes out there, them other teams, they got to prove me wrong. I really hope they do. I need them to. Like the Grizz and the Rockets, the Thunder in there also, because it'd be cool to see them in the finals versus the Celtics. That's actually what I wanted to see before the whole season started. I said, OKC and Celtics finals. I want to see that. That'd be dope to watch. Of course, as it went on, I wanted to see Minnesota and Celtics in the finals because Minnesota was getting hot. They were just beating everyone through the playoffs there, and OKC flopped. But the Grizz, the Thunder, and the Rockets, they got to prove me wrong, man. Y'all got to, because I'm more especially worried about the Grizz and the Rockets. Depending on how the seeds line up, who they got to play, they might fuck around and get bumped by a team in the first round. Because some of those lower seeds down there in the 5s, 6s, and 7s, they competitive as fuck. And those teams kind of have shown they could fuck around and fuck shit up for the Rockets and the Grizzlies, like the Minnesotas of the world. They could play with y'all and they could beat y'all. So, but they gotta get their shit together for this first round. Definitely the second round. They make it out of that as top seeds. Second round is gonna be crazier for them, and it's gonna be hard to see with the youth and lack of experience. I mean, the Grizz have a little bit more experience. They should be able to handle that, but it's still tough to see them making it to a Western Conference Finals. But shit, if that shit would have fuck around and happen, imagine the Grizz and OKC. That's definitely must-see TV. In the Western Conference Finals, I mean, it all is, but I would rank it OKC and the Lakers must-see in the Western Conference. OKC and the Grizz must-see number 2 slot of must-see TV, and then OKC and the Nuggets. And then you slide in a, solid 4 or 5 sleep OKC and like Minnesota or some shit. But yeah, the Grizz and the Rockets gotta make sure they got it together. Them sneaky low-seed teams, I could see them stealing a first round win or two. A first round win in the series. I mean, teams like the Wolves, the Kings, the Warriors, depending on how the season lines up, whether they fit in a play-in or some shit. The Spurs might fuck around and sneak in as the 8th seed or out of a play-in. Not saying they would beat someone definitively in the first round, but they could probably fuck around and make it difficult. Maybe win a couple games in the series. Make it real interesting, you know what I mean, as they start gaining steam. But if you're a top seed team, the teams you probably want to worry about the most are like the Wolves and the Warriors. And the Mavs. We're forgetting about the Mavs too, man. The Mavs are going to be in there. They're a lower seed team, but they're probably not going to finish there. But, I'll be worried about the Mavs if they're healthy. But the thing about the fucking Mavs, they're already... Anthony Davis is already fucking... already injured and already set out indefinitely. That's just tough to hear right there. And that's why it was funny to me, scratching my head, motherfuckers, for like 2 weeks talking this shit like, yeah, The Mavs got the better of the trade as of today, as of right now, winning a championship or winning for right now. They got the best. How? This motherfucker's always hurt and hurt for a long time, and now he out indefinitely. You hate to see it. I hate to see player injuries, but he's injury prone, and now it said he's out indefinitely. Damn. And cross your fingers. I hope no one else gets hurt from that team, especially not Kyrie. We love to see his game, and he's the leader of this whole shit now. He can't get hurt. But the lower seed teams you really got to worry about. Shoot, I think I'll have to scratch the Kings. Let's scratch them out. The Wolves, the Warriors, and the Mavs. They could fuck around and steal a series from anyone in the first round of those top seeds. So those motherfuckers you got to watch out for right there. As far as in the playoffs and how the seeding, how it may shape out when it's all said and done. Still early, but since it's going to go into the All-Star break, might as well tap into it right quick. And as far as everyone else, before I wrap here, I want to talk about a little bit how the future might look after the season's finished, after whoever wins the whole thing, and who else is going to start putting their plans together and trying to get their affairs in order for their arms race to compete for a championship and all this crazy clicking up and homie hopping shit they probably gonna do, right? In the future for next off season. The Suns, I'll start with this. The Suns, it might be fucking clipped. It's a wrap. It might be a wrap for that whole shit. Cut the whole shit now. Because it's not working with Beal and Booker and KD. And to me, looking at how they play, their game, sometimes it's crazy, sometimes it's not. Most times it's mid. Bill and Booker, they not them niggas like that that's going to do some crazy shit. So it's clipped there. And KD, I think he's still going to try and find a way to get to the Warriors. I think because he got 1 year left on his contract, they're going to find a way to still get him to the Warriors so he could play with Steph again and with Jimmy. Now, if he still doesn't want to do that, I think the only other destination that he wants to go to that would make sense is the Heat. Because they did say he expressed that he might be interested or intrigued by going to the Heat, right? Going to the Heat. They got a good little squad, some role players there and everything like that. Got Hero going off. You got Bam. Gives him a little space to create, do his thing, keep scoring. And I could see him being like, nah, I want to see what all this hoopla and this hype is about. This nigga made LeBron a champion, made D Wade a champion. He made all these greats from way before that champions, and he's basically another Lord of the Rings as far as the history of this league. I want to see if he could take me to that level before I'm out of here, before I call it a day and retire, get me one more ring. The Heat. And I could see that if they're able to orchestrate some crazy shit. I don't know what Dame's deal is looking like that. This ain't that type of show. I don't be looking over all the time. Maybe I'll get to it and bring it up, but I don't know what Dame's deal is looking like, if he's going to be a free agent next year or if he has one deal left or he's eligible for a trade next year, some shit. But I could see him being like, yo, I'll click up and play with my nigga Dame in Miami. Dame, KD, and Bam, because you'll probably have to trade Hero. You know what I'm saying? If you got to do that, a sign and trade or some shit. Right? And Milwaukee's probably going to need some type of rebuild or rebrand after this shit if they don't make it to the finals, because that's going to lead into my next thing real quick before I revert back to the same situation. I could see Giannis wanting out soon after this and shit and being like, yo, I either want to go to the Lakers or I want to go to New York. So then you're just going to leave Dame there by himself? No, Dame going to be like, yo, I got to get to Golden State. I either got to get back home to Golden State or Sacktown. They don't got a point guard there. Let me see if I can fit in my way with the rest of the veterans that's still nice and athletic like me. Or I got to go Golden State with Jimmy and Steph, where he could play off-ball two guard. I'll play point guard and we'll both shoot the lights out. But that's kind of unrealistic. But he probably want to go and get his wish and have his wish granted and go to the Heat. And he definitely seems like a player with the mindset. It's like, I want to see what all this shit is about and see if this nigga gonna make me a champion because I'm that competitive, and see what Pat Riley talking about. and let me do this shit and get a chip in South Beach and play with KD so we can air this shit out, you know. But let me rewind back with the KD shit. Yeah, like I said, I could still, besides going to the Heat, I could still see him wanting to get his way to play with his boy Steph. But with that, it's gonna be on some. Well, we got to get this nigga Draymond the fuck up out of here. And with the way that Draymond has been carrying on for the last few seasons, especially this season and everything like that, barely playing and getting suspended and all this dumb shit, and you produce a little bit here and there this season when you're on, but sometimes you don't. Yo, let's get this nigga up out of here. And then the domino effect happens, and then Draymond will be like, all right, well, fuck this shit. I kind of low-key wanted to play with this nigga anyway, even though I was dissing him for mad long during the whole battle, back and forth in the series together and shit like that, but I still fuck with him. We got the tequila brand together and all this shit. And where Steph don't want me out here, he want me out of here for his boy KD, who's soft as a cupcake. I'm about to click up in L.A., especially if L.A. don't go to the finals or they lose in the finals. He gonna be like, fuck that. I'm gonna click over this nigga LeBron and go to L.A. Let me hop on this bandwagon and get one more ring than Steph. Get one more ring than all them niggas. Steph and Clay and all them niggas and Lake Up and all the Word and Kerr and all. Fuck that. And I'm gonna do with LeBron too. I could see him doing some dumb shit like that, right? I mean, all this does sound a little bit unrealistic, but doesn't. The NBA kind of crazy, right? But for KD to want to come back, he like, nah, get that nigga out of here. I can make amends with everybody else because it's everybody else. But that nigga got to get out of here if I'm coming through. And then you got him, Jimmy, and Steph, right? Got a chance to compete for a championship and shit. It's just going to get harder because everyone's going to try and click up and try and make these crazy trades and shit. And like I said, Giannis, I could see him either being like, yo, I want to go to the Lakers or I want to go to New York. Gonna be very hard for both teams to pull that off, I think, with what they already have going on, especially, with that kind of star power position and shit like that, even though Giannis it looks like it's kind of slowing down with his motion now with the injuries, body kind of starting to break down now. But another sneaky place we could probably see him go to with the injuries to AD, and they might want to be like, it was a deal we had to make together. We could get to flip it into something else. Maybe he goes to Dallas. Another sneaky third team that could go for him there, or that he would want to go to. But that shit, I know that shit sounds wild crazy. Other than that, with Dallas, what they might do, and I brought it up before, and I think would be a good look because how it's looking where he's at right now, it's like, bro, you brought your team deep into the playoffs a couple times into an Eastern Conference Finals, and they're not really building more around you. And it doesn't look good for the future for you like that with this team. Dallas trading for Trae Young. Get him up out of there. Trae Young to Dallas. You keep AD. You don't got to do nothing else so crazy. You got three big men. You got Gafford, Lively, back healthy. And you got AD back healthy, throwing lobs. You still got Kyrie. Kyrie's off-ball guard, so he could kind of play in this two-guard role. You got Clay. You could kick it out for three also. When Trae drives to the lane, he got options to alley to AD or Gafford or Lively off the bench, or kick it out for three to Clay or to Kyrie, or kick it out to Kyrie to make his man jump off the three-point line, cross him up and do a mid-range, go to the lane. Open up a whole other offense. But get Trae out of there. Get him out of there. And then where the fuck, where the fuck is Zion gonna go? Get him out of jail. They said some shit. I'm gonna say some wild shit right now. I don't think it's possible, but they should at least try and see what's up. At this point, with Ant-Man, and Zion, a bum-ass franchise, they're not doing nothing with him. They're not going to... Who they even going to draft that's going to be like, oh, yeah, they're going to go to the playoffs right away if we keep Zion there with Murphy the third? Maybe the young boy Ace Bailey, but let's be real. Zion want to get out of there. Zion to Minnesota with Ant-Man, they could go fucking crazy. Get Randall and motherfucking Randall or Gobert out of there or some shit. But where the fuck is Zion gonna play next year? We gotta see this dude play, and we gotta see him not just play but compete. You know, so maybe that shit sound crazy, but maybe he goes there. Maybe I don't know what other places he will fit, because it looks like everybody else got their either second or third stars already on their team. But in the West, maybe they could use them there. Or what are they gonna do? Ship him to the Clippers? I don't want to see that for his career, because I feel like it'd kind of be a rerun a bit. Yeah, it'll be playoffs. It'll be between the 8th and 5th seed, here and there and shit with whatever James Harden and Leonard got left, if they actually play, or if Leonard actually plays and shit. But, and then the other thing too, what about Embiid and PG-13? Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares what they gonna do. It might be clipped for both of them also. Always hurt. Up in the game now, they don't want to play. They get them out of there somewhere to wherever the fuck. Probably shipping them. One of them, the fucking Phoenix, after KD dips from there, and let Maxey and McCain and the other young boys out there get they shine and work with some players, some good role players, or some good younger role players. They could do their thing with or some shit. I don't know, but that's just my take on it. Just trying to look a little bit into the future, what it could look like here in the coming season after it's all said and done. From this season, with the moves we've seen in the past few weeks that have been crazy, it should probably get crazier, because people want to compete to win. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll fucking see. It'll probably get crazy. But that's going to do it for me here on this volume right here with volume 31 of Welcome to the Franchise. Other than that, y'all enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of these NBA games and the All-Star weekend. Y'all be easy.